Here's a CASPer tip from RWF training, using a formula to dissect the question, but answering in your own voice. You may have read in various CASPer test materials that taking a standardized approach to breaking down a question can be very useful, and indeed it can be. One classic approach might run as the following. State the situation. Make sure you are demonstrating you understand the dilemma and the implied questions if they're not explicit. Identify the stakeholders and empathize with their various points of view. Analyze the outcomes, so the consequences, both material and emotional, of any possible decisions you make. This would be the typical showing both sides of the story, in addition to identifying the stakeholders. And then finally, state your decision. It's very important that you actually state what your preferred choice of action would be and why your decision is preferable to the alternatives. But even though you may break down a question like this, you don't want to write like this. So in fact, you may want to start at the end, because CASPer is a timed test. You may not have time to get to the most important part, which is making sure that the grader knows what your decision was and the reasoning on how you got there. So you may in fact want to start with the highlight, as actually many good presentations do. Start very early in with action after you've identified what the problem is. And these points all naturally integrate. Identifying the stakeholders in the problem are often various sides of the same coin. So again, use the approach to break down the scenario, but try to write naturally so that it doesn't invoke a knee-jerk response from the grader that this is a canned type of answer. Now, if you're not a fast typer, or if English isn't your first language, you may default to answering in this format, but at the very least, don't use the section headings. So don't write situation and then stakeholders or whatever the equivalent of the approach that you take is. Just start right in with natural language. If you found that useful, please check out rwftraining.com/CASPer Test Prep for free information and sample questions. And of course, we have full test simulations, strategy guides, and custom feedback on your answers, typically within 24 hours. Thanks, and good luck.